Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is now or never for Bayern Munich this season, with the Bundesliga slipping away, shock exit in the Cup. All that is left for them is the Champions League. Tonight at the Allianz Arena, Bayern take on Lazio in the Champions League last 16 second leg, where the Italian side are a goal up after an Immobile penalty at the Stadio Olimpico, which left the game at 1-0 after the first 90 minutes. For Tuchel, his side currently trail the league by 10 points, but in the Champions League they are yet to lose a game at home after drawing their last one at home to Copenhagen and beating Galatasaray and Manchester United in the group stages. The German Giants have won this competition 6 times previously, most recently in 2020, and are looking to progress to the quarter-final stage, the round they have been eliminated in for the last 3 seasons. For Lazio, it is a very underwhelming Serie A campaign, sat in 9th with mid-table, and after losing to AC Milan at the weekend, which saw Lazio pick up 3 red cards, they are still looking to try and make some kind of season in this Champions League. They have already lost 2 of their 3 away games in the season's Champions League against Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid. This is just the 4th ever meeting between the two, and their first encounter was also in the Champions League last 16 in the 2020-2021 season, where Bayern went through to be knocked out by PSG in the quarterfinals. So, can Bayern make it to a 4th consecutive quarter-final in the Champions League, or will Lazio pull off a huge upset and make it to their first Champions League quarter-final since 2000? And in that season, Lazio were knocked out by Valencia, unfortunately, and it was a 5-3 defeat on aggregate, and there is probably not a better time to face Bayern Munich if you are Lazio. They are already 1 goal up after the first leg, the Immobile penalty in the 69th minute, and that game was mostly remembered for Bayern Munich's lack of attacking prowess. They had 17 shots, Bayern Munich, with just the 0 on target. It was a really poor display of shooting. They had quite a few decent chances in that game in terms of having shots at goal from within the 18-yard box, but it just couldn't quite work. The goalkeeper, Ivan Providel. And for Lazio, it was very strong defensive work. They frustrated Bayern Munich and got their goal through that penalty. It was given away by Upamecano, and the French centre-back was sent off for Bayern Munich, so he is unavailable for today's game. But it is a slight shock selection, you could say, at the back for Bayern Munich if you read the lineups, but we'll go through them shortly in a little bit more detail. But it's Lazio who also themselves aren't doing amazingly. They've picked up 2 wins from their last 5 in all competitions, one of them being against Bayern Munich in the first leg, but they have won 4 of their last 6 away from home in the league, so they have got that positive to look upon. But overall, I just feel like this game could go any way. Bayern Munich did recently beat RB Leipzig at home in the Bundesliga, so that's also almost a sign for Bayern Munich that they can do it at home against a good opposition, because RB Leipzig have got a decent squad, but that win against RB Leipzig for Bayern Munich is just their one that they've won in their last 5 games. It just shows how poorly in form that this Bayern Munich team is, which is so rare for them. We just haven't seen anything like this from Bayern Munich for well over 10, 11, 12 years. And of course it is the year that Harry Kane joins that they're having one of their worst seasons on the pitch, but it's not for the fact that Harry Kane's not been performing. In 32 appearances for Bayern Munich so far, Harry Kane has scored 31 goals, which is absolutely incredible. But this is all they've got left. Thomas Tuchel is leaving at the end of the season. That's already been announced, and there is rumours going around that if they lose tonight, Bayern Munich, and they crash out of the Champions League, then Thomas Tuchel could be leaving a little bit sooner than the end of the season. He could be leaving tomorrow if they don't go through. You'd expect them to go through. Like I say, Lazio really struggling in Serie A, 9th place at the moment, and they just struggle for goals. They really do struggle for goals. Napoli have got the second least amount of goals in the top half of Serie A. Don't get me wrong, they're not conceding loads, 29 in the league. They've kept 8 clean sheets. But overall, it's just the going forward that they've struggled with the most. It was no shock that they were good defensively at home, because they have been this season in Serie A. They've been very good defensively. They've only conceded 10 goals at home in the Serie A. So they are good defensively at the Stadio Olimpico, which they did show in the first leg. But we'll go through both sides now, as we can see both teams here in the tunnel ready to walk upon the grass of the Allianz Arena. And if whichever side does reach the quarterfinals will be played on the 9th and 10th of April, the first legs, and the second legs will be played on the 16th and 17th of April. So just over a month's side. But we'll start with Bayern Munich. They are the home side, and they have made 3 changes from their starting 11 in the first leg. All 3 of them have come in the back 4. Manuel Neuer stays in goal, looking for his 50th clean sheet in the Champions League for Bayern Munich. It looks like it's going to be a reshuffle, with Joshua Kimmich coming in at right back, replacing the injured Mazraoui. 2 changes at centre-back. One of them has been forced upon, with Upamecano red carded in the first leg. He's been replaced by Matthijs de Ligt. And Kim Min-jae, the South Korean, on the bench for Eric Dyer, the man signed on loan from Spurs. That loan spell will become permanent at the end of the season. He's in for his 31st Champions League appearance. So the English centre-half does have experience at this level, but does he have the required quality? And at left-back is Rafael Guerreiro, who's already scored once against Lazio at home before, but that was when he was at Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League group stages in 2020. 2 older midfielders, Alexander Pavlovic, who comes in for his first ever Champions League start. He'll play alongside Leon Goretzka. 3 behind the striker on the right is going to be Leroy Sané, who's 3 goals off 50 for Bayern Munich. On the left is going to be Jamal Musiala, who has made the most appearances in the Champions League for a player who is under the age of 21, or 21 or under. He's made 29 Champions League appearances already, and that is 1 more than Goetze did when he was at the age of 21. And then in behind the striker is going to be Thomas Muller, who's making appearance 149 in the Champions League. He scored 53 goals. And up front, of course, is Harry Kane. 31 goals in 32 appearances in all competitions. 4 in the Champions League. A brace away at Galatasaray being his main collection of goals. He did also score at home here against Manchester United, and Harry Kane will lead the line. He scored 25 Champions League goals, Harry Kane. 23 of them in the group stage, so he really needs to up those numbers in terms of knockout round goals, especially tonight if Bayern want to progress through. And the team for Lazio, 3 changes as well from their first leg. There's 2 former Chelsea managers just handshake there with Tuchel and Sarri. And for Lazio, it is the usual goalkeeper, Ivan Providel. Back 4 of Adam Marusic. At left back is Luca Pellegrini, one of the 3 players sent off at the weekend against AC Milan, and 2 central defenders of Mario Gila and Alessio Romagnoli. Holding midfielder of Matheus Vecino, who was in the starting 11 for the first leg but dropped out with injury just before the game. He is back, the Uruguayan holding midfielder, and the 2 central midfielders in front of him will be Matteo Guendouzi and Luis Alberto. 3 up front. On the left is going to be Mattia Zaccagni, who replaces Gustav Isaacson, who won the penalty in the first leg. On the right is Felipe Anderson, who is featured in every game so far for Lazio this season in all competitions. And up front, the main man, the reason why they are 1-0 up so far in the last 16 of this tie, it is Ciro Immobile, who did score his 4th Champions League goal with that penalty last time around. He's got 10 for the season in all competitions. He's got 2 in his last 6 in Serie A, and he is Lazio's leading scorer, and they'll need him more than ever tonight, their captain, and they'll need him to score the goals if any chances come Lazio's way, as it'll be Lazio to kick off, kicking left to right, Bayern right to left in this first half. It's the away side with kick-off. They send it long and all the way out for a goal kick for Bayern Munich, and it's a huge night for the home side. They haven't been knocked out of the round of 16 since the 2018-2019 season, where they lost to Liverpool, who went on to win the competition. But the last 3 seasons, they have been knocked out of the quarter-final stage. Last season was the defeat to Manchester City. They lost 3-0 in the first leg, then 1-1 here at the Allianz Arena. But big weight on Eric Dyer's shoulders, who's got the ball midway inside his own half here. Goes to his centre-back partner of De Ligt. Two new centre-backs in the starting 11 for Bayern Munich tonight. As a ball towards Kane. It's been dealt with by Romagnoli. Down the line here, flicked on by Zaccagni, loses out to Kimmich, who's playing it right back tonight for Bayern Munich. In front of him to Kane, into the path of Musiala, towards the byline. Can he work a crossing? He pulls it back here for Kimmich, who needs to pull back himself. He lifts it to the far post, flicks away from Muller to Guerreiro, trying to find Sane, cut out by Guendouzi on the edge of the box, and it's been fired out to the right-hand side here to Felipe Anderson, who will charge into the Bayern Munich half. Not got many options with him, but he can get it across to Alberto, then forward towards Immobile first time. Just slightly overhit and played back to Neuer by Dyer. But that is really good direct counter-attack in there from Lazio, who need to be good on the break tonight because they're going to have to sit back for a lot of the game. As Dyer goes over the top with the ball, looking towards Muller. Quite far away from his intended target in the end there by Dyer and straight into the hands of Ivan Providel. As it's Lazio on the ball in their own box here with Healer. Forward towards Anderson. Loose pass picked up by Eric Dyer. 10 yards inside the Lazio half. And he goes across into the centre circle here to De Ligt, who could only reach the last 16 at Juventus. That was the best finish he had during his time in Italy. But De Ligt is more known for his time at Ajax, where they reached the semi-finals back in 2019. He's been a little unfavoured this season. De Ligt, just his 20th appearance of the season in all competitions. He's third in the Champions League. And he did come off the bench in the first leg, De Ligt, after the Upamecano red card. As it's Muller on the ball, kicking the ball off Pellegrini, the left-back. And in the final third for Bayern on the far side, it will be a throw-in. It's been taken quickly. It's been thrown back here to De Ligt on halfway. That's now with their number 15 of Eric Dyer. Never scored in this competition, despite playing 30 appearances previously in the Champions League. Was part of the Tottenham squad that reached the final back in 2019. It's just under 3 minutes in. No shots on goal yet from either side. And it's been Bayern Munich who have had the majority of the possession. As it's Pavlovic in the centre circle. Poked away from him by Guendouzi, but recollected there by De Ligt. Just a bit of a warning sign for the 19-year-old German midfielder, Alexander Pavlovic, who makes his first ever Champions League start. Just having to compensate for using Kimmich at right back, so Pavlovic is in, as Kimmich has got it in the right wing position, crosses in towards Muller, header won by Romagnoli, collected by Sane, back to Kimmich, 25 yards from goal. Bayern have the ball with Pavlovic. It's now with Leon Goretzka, not being pressed at the moment, goes to Pavlovic and across to Musiala in the central area, goes out to the left here to Guerreiro, loads of time on the ball for the Portuguese fullback to put the cross in, volley to Felipe Anderson in the area still, dribbles past one Bayern Munich player, and he'll charge away here, the Brazilian, as he's tackled strongly and fairly by Goretzka, and it'll be a Lazio throw-in on the near side. Decent start for Bayern Munich. Still not had a shot on goal yet, didn't have any shots on target in the first leg, which was rather worrying for Thomas Tuchel, who has won this competition one time himself during his Chelsea days. And Thomas Tuchel in his career has never been knocked out earlier than the quarterfinals, so it would be a little unknown territory for Tuchel if they were to be eliminated in the last 16, but they have got a big job to do here at the Allianz Arena. On the halfway line, Alberto Vecino slices the ball out to the Lazio left. Will be kept in by Pellegrini, who touches it inside to Alberto. Forward to Immobile. It's now to Guendouzi. Turns away from Musiala and brings in Marusic, the right back. It's now with Felipe Anderson, midway inside the Bayern half on this near side. Dribbles past Musiala. Still with Anderson into the final third here. Good running from the former West Ham winger. And he plays it backwards to Guendouzi, who picks the ball up, brings it forward, shoots from the edge of the area, just dragging wide, but it's a positive start from Lazio. I mean, they've not had a lot of the ball, but when they have had the ball, they've looked dangerous going forward. Guendouzi there just pulling the shot wide. Signed on a loan from Marseille with an option to buy in the summer. Matteo Guendouzi, who spent 4 years at Arsenal, racking up 82 appearances. Which with Eric Dyer, midway inside the Bayern Munich half. Goes across here to De Ligt, being closed down by Alberto. Finds right back Kimmich, who is facing his own goal and replays the ball back into De Ligt. And it's with Goretzka. Forward here to Musiala. Turns away from Guendouzi on the halfway line. Forward to Muller, who takes the touch. Plays it out to the right to Sane. Strikes with his left foot. And that's a shot on target. It's right at the goalkeeper. Sane on the right-hand side opened up his body with his left foot to try and... I think he was probably trying to shoot across goal, but it just went too far, too close to the goalkeeper there. But it's better from Bayern, who actually got a shot on target tonight. As the ball goes long up to Immobile, keeps it away from De Ligt and lays it off to Guendouzi. And Lazio have got players over here. Guendouzi's got Anderson to his right and he'll play it to his path. He latches onto it, plays it back to Guendouzi first time. Edge of the area, through into the box here. Luis Alberto turns, crosses, and it's volleyed by Dyer. And out for a Lazio throw-in the final third. Really positive start from the Italian side, who look a real threat when going forward. It looks like Lazio might go... They're going to go short, but Guendouzi turns Guerrero in the area, plays it across, and De Ligt can get it away from Immobile, but Healy keeps it alive, but gives it away to Dyer on the edge of the box. He's got time to think of his next pass. He's taking too long, eventually curls out to the right, and it's a perfect ball in the end. Sets Sane away with his electric pace into the final third, into the area. Sane still has it, squares it. Musiala shoots, and it's a great block there by Healy. It was needed from the Spanish centre-back, but that was really dangerous from Leroy Sane. He's absolutely rapid when he gets going. And as he entered the box, Lazio were really scared to put a foot in, because to stop him at that pace probably would have resulted in a foul. But it was work to Musiala, whose shot was eventually blocked, and it's resulted in this Bayern Munich corner. Referee delays the take-in, as just wants a word there with Matteo Guendouzi and Harry Kane, former rivals in the North London derby. As Kimmich crosses outswinger towards the penalty spot, headed by De Ligt, and it will roll out of play and out for a goal kick for Lazio, quite far wide in the end there by the Dutch centre-half De Ligt, who might be looking for a move away from Bayern Munich, because, like I say, he's been very underused this season, but there is a new manager coming in next season for Bayern Munich, so he might be part of his plans, De Ligt, so he might stick around in Germany. There's Lazio. Have the ball. Right back. Marusic tackled there by Musiala. Throwing for Lazio inside their own half. On this near side for the Montenegrin fullback, who's been at the club since July 2017. Adam Marusic, now at the age of 31, racking up over 250 appearances for Lazio. As Anderson flicks onto Guendouzi. Beautiful switch out, or is it overhit? Just overhit there, but he caught it nicely with the crossfield ball there, Guendouzi. Couldn't be kept in by Zaccagni. And it's a Bayern Munich throw, midway side of their own half, taken quickly here by Kimmich to Pavlovic, and it'll be the home side to build up from the back. And as well, Lazio have never won a Champions League away game in Germany. After 4 previous attempts, they've drawn 2 and lost 2, but they've never come out on top in a victory in this competition in Germany. Musiala, great skill to get away from Anderson, but tackled by Vecino in the middle of the park. Really good tackle from the Lazio holding midfielder. And the Italian side will play it to the far side here to left back Pellegrini. He'll bring it forward as Zaccagni's making a run in behind. He's going to look for him and they'll find him. He's got pace on Kimmich. Zaccagni just inside the area on the left-hand side. Leaves the 18-yard box. Lays it off to Alberto. Right-footed, wants to shoot. Deflects out to the right to Anderson, who goes inside to Guendouzi. Back to Anderson. Takes on Musiala. Back out to the right here to Guendouzi, who is brought down by Musiala. And that'll be a free kick. And a chance for a cross in the box here. Bit of a forwards tackle there by Musiala, just lunging in on Guendouzi. He's had a good start to the game, the French central midfielder. So it'll be a chance for the Spaniard of Luis Alberto to swing this in. He's a really nice player to watch, Luis Alberto. He's around 6 foot, and he's one of those real technical players. Even though he's got real height, He's really good with his feet, and his passing ability is off the scale. As he puts a right-footed cross in here, it's a delicious ball, flicked away with the head of Goretzka on the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes out to the edge of the box to Immobile, into the path of Pellegrini, who gets there ahead of Kimmich. Tries to take on the right back, but he kicks it off Kimmich, and it's going to be a corner on the far side for Lazio. We knew it wasn't going to be straightforward for Bayern Munich to get back in this game, and we are seeing exactly why. Lazio are a really strong outfit, and they'll be difficult to beat. As it'll be Alberto to once again attempt to cross, this time from the corner flag on the far side. And he crosses to the near post, headed away by Muller to the edge of the area towards Sane. Deflected forward by Pellegrini, straight to Musiala, who can't feed it through to Sane. Headed away for Lazio to the edge of the box, where De Ligt meets it. Olisvaris Zaccagni for Lazio. Dinks into the box towards Vecino. And it's well dealt with there by Dyer. And the ball's cleared eventually. But it was a key block that from Dyer, because Vecino's run was getting him through on goal there. But it's Lazio still on the ball, back with their goalkeeper, Providel. 29-year-old Italian goalkeeper. He's been at 10 different clubs in his career, Ivan Providel, all in Italy. As Vecino can't get on the loose ball from Alberto. Musiala into Sane, outside the box, trying to get into his left foot. Does eventually try and work the shot, which is blocked, and the ball goes dead. And it's picked up by Guendouzi, midway side the Lazio half forward here to Zaccagni. Immobile's gone left. Zaccagni's in a central area, and his pass out wide is come off Pavlovic, who completes a 1-2 with Sane. And it's back in Bayern Munich possession. Pass needs to be better there from Zaccagni. As Immobile just peeled out to the left-hand side. As it's Pavlovic across to Leon Goretzka. All Lazio players currently behind the ball here. It's Goretzka looking out to the right-hand side. Plays a 10-yard pass to De Ligt, who brings it forward from centre-back. And it's now with Kimmich on that far side. He's got everything to his left here. As he dribbles inside ever so slightly here, Kimmich, waiting for the next pass, and he goes into the centre circle here to Eric Dyer. It's now with Leon Goretzka to the near side here to Guerrero. 1-on-1 with Marusic. Guerrero on the ball, finding Kane. He's peeled out wide here to the left-hand side. Pass forward towards Musiala. Deflects off Anderson and out for a corner. It's not the worst result there for Kane with that pass, trying to link up with Musiala, once an English youth international. Musiala, born in Stuttgart, but moved to England at the age of 7, but has decided to represent Germany at international level, as Musiala is making appearance number 30 in the Champions League, only at the age of 21. So it'll be an in-swinger from Kimmich. So he's took both corners so far from both sides. I mean, Guerrero, he stood over it as well, so we might get a left-footed out-swinging option of Guerrero. But Kimmich took the last one from the opposite side. Kimmich goes short to the edge of the box here to Musiala, who's all on his own. He's allowed to shoot, and it's parried by the goalkeeper. And it goes through a bunch of bodies and out for a throw-in on the far side. It's been kept in, actually, instead by De Ligt, who crosses. And it deflects towards Immobile, who's tackled by Sane on the angle with his left foot. Always rising over the bar. Seen plenty of times the likes of Iron Robben for Bayern Munich from those angles on his left foot, cutting in and shooting, but Sane couldn't quite replicate. Just surprised how much space and time Musiala had on the edge of the box as he received the ball from the corner directly from Joshua Kimmich. But Lazio survived it. Good save from Providel. One you'd expect him to make, but still was equal to it. As it's Marusic, the Lazio right-back, bringing the ball forward beyond the halfway line, but he's been tackled by Musiala, getting his body in front of the player and behind the ball and winning the ball back. Really good from Musiala, doing his attacking work before with that shot, but also doing his defensive work as well. As we're on the edge of the Bayern Munich box here with Eric Dyer in possession. And it's interesting for Bayern Munich. They had won their last 5 Champions League games against Italian sides and was unbeaten in 12 since a 3-2 home loss to Inter Milan in March 2011. So they were usually unbeatable against Italian opposition until a couple of weeks ago, where they fell to a defeat at the Stadio Olimpico. But it was it's a bad time for Bayern Munich in general, but especially in that first leg, going into that game off the back of the 3-0 defeat to Leverkusen, which has given them a huge momentum booster in the league, and it looks like it is the title going Leverkusen's way. 10 points clear at the moment, with 10 games to play. As midway inside the Lazio half, it is Goretzka on it. Out to the left here to Guerrero in the final third. He's got 2 plays in the box to aim for. Finds Musiala, back through for Guerrero. Pull back towards Muller, just misses it. And it can be cleared away for Lazio. You know, when you're just looking for that little slice of luck, it's those little moments, just couldn't quite connect with it, Muller. Because we know how dangerous Guerrero is when going forward from full-back. He's known for not just assisting, but he's really got the goal-scoring bug as well. Scored 40 times for Dortmund, Guerrero, in his 7-year stint at the club before leaving for Bayern Munich. Sane in a central area, forward to Kane, edge of the box, out of his feet, strikes it towards the bottom right corner, and it just goes wide. He's asking for a corner. He asks, and he shall receive. Sane just almost from the right-hand side, just bringing it across into a central area, and it was going on target, that from Kane. I believed it would have been saved, but the deflection sent it wide, so Bayern will minimum receive a corner here. And Guerrero, Kimmich, again, he stood over it, but I think we've got a faulty whistle from the referee, so we're going to have a pause in play. Yeah, just a faulty whistle for tonight's referee. This is Slavko Vincic, Slovenian. Everyone's Slovenian in the officiating department tonight. Maybe you've got VAR who might have a different nation, but we're all Slovenian tonight. And the main man is Slavko Vincic. So Guerrero, he stood over it with a left-footed option, but Kimmich has took the last 2 corners with his right foot, one from both sides. But it's going to be Kimmich again, outswinger, deeper one towards De Ligt, who heads across goal, and it's a free header for Immobile. And then headed on by Zaccagni. Can't find a blue shirt. It's dropped to Sane. Beyond one, then out to the right towards Guerrero. Vital interception from Marusic, and it can be cleared away by Zaccagni to the Bayern Munich half, where Neuer can play it back forward to De Ligt. That was almost a perfect ball from Sane to find Guerrero, but a really key interception from Marusic on the edge of the Lazio box. It's now on the far side here with Kimmich, who's been reused as a right back. He has played that position before in his career, more under the Pep Guardiola days, where he liked to use inverted full-backs and bringing those left or right back into the midfield, and obviously Kimmich can do that perfectly. But obviously feels the need for Kimmich at right back, as there's no Mazraoui, and Lima is only just returning back from injury. As it'll be a Bayern Munich throw-in here on the far side, given away by Marusic. Oh no, sorry, it's gone straight out of play for a Lazio throw-in. Do apologise. And Marusic will swap back, so the Lazio right back will swap with Pellegrini, who will go back out to left back. 25th birthday for Pellegrini. On Thursday, as he's on loan from Juventus for 2 years. He spent the last half of the season on loan at Lazio, then signed a new 2-year loan deal at the club. As Lazio have won a free kick from the throw-in. Kimmich pushing Zaccagni to the ground. So it's a Lazio free kick on the left-hand side, about 15 yards away from halfway. And it'll be taken here by Pellegrini, who goes back to Romagnoli, making his 70th Lazio appearance tonight, the former AC Milan centre-back. It's now Pellegrini, down the line for Zaccagni. Keeps it away from Kimmich, but loses it to Sane. Deflects, though, to Immobile, who can keep the ball with Alberto. It's now on the halfway line. Tripped again, Zaccagni, and that's going to go his way. Tripped by Sane this time. And the referee blows the whistle once again. And they've already fired out to this near side. It's a Marusic. Back into Guendouzi. Then into the space for Marusic, who will try and latch onto it, but it's Dyer to clean up and kick out of play for a throw-in for Lazio, as they can keep the momentum here as they stay high into the Bayern Munich half. Got to remember as well, there's no away goals, so even if Lazio make it 2, and Bayern Munich come back and make it 2 to an aggregate, then it will go to extra time. Poor throw in that by Marusic, couldn't find Anderson, dealt with by Guerrero. Kane to Muller. Pavlovic to Sane on the right-hand side. Mbappe have scored for PSG. They're 3-0 up on aggregate against Real Sociedad. So it looks like they've put their spot into the quarter-final as Sane gives it away straight to Anderson. Trying to look for Goretzka in the midfield. And Anderson pulled back by Kane. And we could see a booking here for the Englishman. I think he's got away with one there. They're usually giving his yellow cards. They pull on the shoulder. I think the referee's going to let Harry Kane get away with that one. But like I say, Harry Kane making his 40th appearance in the Champions League. He scored 25 goals in the competition, but 23 of them in the group stage. I just find that absolutely crazy how little he scored in the knockout stages of this competition. And he didn't score in the first leg. None of his teammates could even work a shot on target in the first leg at the Stadio Olimpico. It's on the halfway line. It's with Romagnoli, the left centre-back for Lazio. Out wide here to Zaccagni, midway side the Lazio half. Chops away from Kimmich. It goes back here to Pellegrini. It's now with Romagnoli again. Not got many passing options in front of him, so he's been forced back here to the goalkeeper of Providel. It's now with the right centre-half of Mario Gila, 23-year-old Spaniard, brought in from Real Madrid in July 2022. Vecino. Playing it forward to the halfway line here to Alberto. Back into Romagnoli. Lazio showing when they do get on the ball that they can keep it and they can knock it around and move Bayern Munich from one side to the other. As it's Romagnoli at the back. On the halfway line. Out to the far side here to Pellegrini. Forward to Immobile, who's just come out to this left-hand side for Lazio. Then goes back inside to Pellegrini. Across to the number 5 of Mattias Vecino. Who plays it to Anderson. 1-2. Vecino. Poor touch. Gives it away to Pavlovic, who's been brought down by the Uruguayan. It's a free kick for Bayern Munich. Just a poor touch there from Vecino, which halted the whole move. And it resulted in him giving away a free kick. And it's Bayern Munich on the ball with number 15, Eric Dyer. And it is another record we try to break, is Lazio are trying to become the first team to beat Bayern Munich home and away in the Champions League since Real Madrid in the 16-17 season, which shows how little or how rarely Bayern Munich lose both games in Champions League knockout. They usually at least come out on top of one. It's just who scores the most goals, really. And in fairness, Bayern Munich have only been eliminated from each of their last 7 Champions League ties when they've lost the first leg, which is a little bit worrying. As it's Goretzka. Musiala. Curls it into the box, out to the right to Kimmich. First time layoff to Muller. In the area, squares it. Musiala shoots, blocked away. Guerrero strikes across goal. And that is a really big block there. I think from Marusic. It fell quite fortunately for Guerrero from the shot block there for Musiala. It was well worked by Muller, finding Musiala on the penalty spot. Deflects off Gila. And then blocked by Marusic from the low-driven shot from Guerrero. But Bayern Munich will come again. On the far side with Kimmich. Been forced to go across to Goretzka. Just went under the foot of Immobile. But then a giveaway from Pavlovic. Finds Anderson now, who gives it away looking for Guendouzi. Guerrero, is he tripped by Anderson? Yes, he is. Free kick for Bayern on the near side. Goretzka on the halfway line. Out to the left here to Guerrero. Anderson's closest by, but he'll allow Guerrero time on the ball as he lifts it into the centre of the park, comes off the head of Guendouzi and deflects to Pavlovic. So Bayern Munich can keep the ball. Pavlovic takes it on the half turn and then plays out to the right to Kimmich. Beautiful midfield play. Kimmich at right back, playing in the right wing position at the moment as Bayern Munich attack. Onto his left foot. Delivers across. It's a slightly deeper one and well caught by Providel. Good goalkeeping by the 6'4" Italian, who won Best Goalkeeper award in Serie A last season, after keeping a very impressive 22 clean sheets in all competitions. He was a substitute in Lazio's first game in the Serie A, and their goalkeeper was red carded, so Providel came in to replace him that game and then just never went out of the team. And he still hasn't to this day. Ivan Providel, as Lazio have gotten forward here in the final third. On the left-hand side, Zaccagni trying to get beyond Kimmich. Plays it in the box for Immobile, whose turn just runs into Delict. And it's cleared for Bayern Munich. Just got away from him, his touch there, Immobile. But it's Lazio to regain possession. Again, coming down that far side quite a lot. Lazio using their left flank a lot more recently in this game. As it's now with Marusic, the right back. Anderson not going too far wide at the moment, not using the whole width of the pitch as he plays it to Immobile. He's got loads of time on the edge of the area here. He's got Dyer in front of him. Plays it back to Guendouzi. It's now into the middle of the park here to Vecino, who crosses into the box. Zaccagni didn't make the run. He looked like he was going to make the run, halted it. Vecino had already made the pass, and it went straight through to the goalkeeper of Manuel Neuer, now at the age of 37, turning 38 at the end of this month. Manuel Neuer, been at Bayern Munich now since 2011, joining for just 18 million euros from Schalke. But he is in the 11th place in the all-time appearance makers list in the Champions League. He is a real icon as a goalkeeper in the modern game. Manuel Neuer really made the sweeper keeper name his own. As Bayern come forward in the area, Kimmich, one or more Pellegrini, can't chop away from him, and then he trips Alberto. And that'll be a free kick for Lazio. I think the main thing for Bayern Munich in this game, they just cannot get frustrated. You know, they should realise they've got plenty of time left in this game. And if they start being frustrated and having pop shots from afar, that won't get them anywhere. They need to try and stay level-headed if they want to try and get through this game. So it's a free kick for Lazio. Just trod on the boot there of Kimmich. Took Alberto's boot off there with that foul. So it's just in the 18-yard box. So Providel, the goalkeeper, will kick this one long into the Bayern Munich half. It's up towards Zaccagni. It'll be headed backwards by Kimmich into Manuel Neuer's hands. Very smart defending there from Kimmich. Now at the age of 29, no longer a youngster. Joshua Kimmich turned 29 last month and has made 376 appearances now for Bayern Munich. Guendouzi wins it off Musiala, plays it through for Anderson, flicks it inside, looking for Immobile, can't get it ahead of Pavlovic, and the German midfielder will play it out wide right to Sane. Really good slide tackle from Pellegrini. It's now with Zaccagni, finds Alberto, back to Zaccagni, into the midfield to Vecino, forward to Immobile, lays it off for Alberto, midway side the Bayern half, forward to Anderson, back through to Alberto, in the area, taken off his toes there by Pavlovic. And Kimmich will clear down the Bayern left, touching side from Muller with his head, but the pass goes away from Kane. He did the hardest bit there, Muller. The pass just inaccurate. It's Lazio back on the ball on the halfway line. Such a legend of the game, Thomas Muller, who is nearing 700 appearances for Bayern Munich. This is 696 for Thomas Muller. 149 appearances now in the Champions League, which is absolutely incredible. It's Lazio with a throw in here on the halfway line, near side, in front of the two technical areas. As Maurizio Sarri was at Chelsea from 2018 to 2019, and then Tuchel was at Chelsea from January 21 to September 22. Both won European titles at Chelsea, the Europa League under Sarri and the Champions League under Tuchel. Providel on the ball for Lazio. With the left centre half here, Romagnoli leaves the 18-yard box. He's got Vecino in as the option in the midfield. Goes to left back Pellegrini instead. Down the line here, finds Alberto. Out to the left is Zaccagni. Alberto can't quite find his next pass. Almost bounces off his foot and out for a Bayern throw-in on that far side. But for both managers, it was the first time that they had faced each club. Tuchel had never faced Lazio and Sarri had never come up against Bayern until that first leg a couple of weeks ago. As it's Bayern Munich with the ball with Kane in the midfield area, switching out to the left to Guerrero. He's got Marusic in front of him, but he plays it down the line here to Muller. Back into Guerrero. It's now to Goretzka. All Lazio plays behind the ball. It's with Pavlovic. It's now with Delict into the centre circle with Dyer. Goretzka. Forward to Muller. Brought down by Anderson. Seen as a foul. Free kick for Bayern. Quite far out. About 40 yards from goal. So no chance for a shot, but maybe a chance for a cross. Definitely a foul. Got none of the ball. Took down the number 25. And free kick it is for Bayern Munich. As we've not had loads of big chances. We've had shots on target from Bayern, which is a change from the first leg. But nothing majorly testing the goalkeeper. We've had a few big blocks as well from Lazio. That shouldn't be forgotten. Putting bodies on the line to keep intact this 1-goal lead. So it will be the right foot of Kimmich to cross low. Diving header from Immobile, but there was a foul in the box there from a Bayern Munich player, which was pointed out by the referee. And it'll be a free kick for Lazio, but good defensive work anyway by Ciro Immobile, the Lazio captain, who only scored 14 in all competitions last season. He's already got 10 this season. Former Dortmund striker, Ciro Immobile. Spent 2 years at the German side. Marusik, ball towards Anderson, cut out by the slide challenge of Guerrero. Free kick, throw-in, for Lazio, just inside the Bayern half on this near side with Marusik to take. Throws it towards Immobile, hooks it out wide, just over the head of Guendouzi. Throw-in for Bayern with left back Guerrero. Let's have a look at this Mbappe goal. On a tight angle, onto his right foot. Still a tight angle, and just wrapped it into the far corner. Showing what he's about there, Kylian Mbappe. It looks like PSG are through to the quarter-finals. And in this tie, will it be Bayern or Lazio? We still really don't have any idea who will be that team to go through to the last 8. We know Lazio have got the goal lead, but Bayern Munich, when they're on it and when they want to play, they can be so dangerous. They're just in a little bit of a rut at the moment. 1 win in their last 5 in all competitions, and they did draw their last home game in the Champions League against Copenhagen, 0-0 draw. It's Kimmich down the right-hand side here to Muller. Plenty of options in the box here. As he just delays the taking, goes to the edge of the box where the ref gets in the way. He tried to get out the way and fell over. And all he can do is apologise, the Slovenian. Quite comical, really. As he did his best to get out of the way, but he slipped, and then he fell, then just fell on the deck. Muller wasn't happy. And obviously, the fact they are 1-0 down, he can't quite see the comical value, but as a neutral, I do see that. That was very funny. It was more the innocence of him trying to get out of the way, but then he slipped, and then it almost just absolutely killed the attack, and it has, because Bayern restart on halfway now with Dyer. Lift the ball forward, drops to Musiala off the head of Healer. Muller on the edge of the box, plays out to the left to Guerrero. First time cross, it comes off Marusik and out for a corner. Bayern, again, just not working the goalkeeper. They're getting in the right areas. And to be fair, they were getting in the right areas in the first leg. It's just that final pass and the final shot that's just not quite coming together yet for Bayern Munich in this tie. But Bayern Munich have been strong again at home this season in the league. 10 wins from 12 in the league at home. There's Kimmich, crosses it in, over the goalkeeper and through towards De Ligt at the far post. I think he got a slight nick on it, the goalkeeper. And De Ligt shields it out for a throw-in next to the corner flag. On that far side. As De Ligt takes the throw-in quickly here to Sane. Then back it goes to Pavlovic. Across into the central midfield area to Musiala. Back out to the right to Pavlovic. Now Sane, everything to his left. One-on-one with Zakanyi. Sane. Forward to Kimmich. Turns forward. Needs to get the cross right. Lifts it. Headed on and away. Eric Dyer was the one who met it at the near post. Couldn't direct it on target. And with 10 minutes to play this first half, it's still Bayern 0, Lazio 0. It's 1-0 on aggregate to the Italian side, who haven't reached the last 8 of the quarter-finals, haven't reached the last 8 of the Champions League since 2000. They've not been in the Champions League the last 2 seasons, Lazio. The last time they were in the competition, they were knocked out at this stage by Bayern Munich. Had to give it away on halfway. Goretzka forward instantly to Musiala. Great challenge from Healer, the centre-back. Timed it to perfection. And Bayern Munich have a throw-in. And it goes back towards halfway here to Guerrero. And they'll restart from the back here, Bayern Munich. So with De Ligt being closed down quickly here by Alberto. But can find Kimmich at right back. He's midway inside the Lazio half. Looking to play pass to his left. It's to Sane, beyond one challenge, then forward towards Musiala. He left it, I think, looking for Muller. But he went right beyond him and out for a goal kick for Lazio. It's a better performance from Bayern Munich than the first leg. They seem a bit more hungry this time around. And I think that, of course, has a big factor with they're at home. That helps. The Allianz Arena. There's the centre-back healer. Forced to go back to Providel in the 6-yard box. Fires out to the left to Pellegrini, the left-back. It's a great lifted ball. Good touch as well. Through the legs of Pavlovic. Finds Luis Alberto. Counter-attack is on for Lazio. Alberto to the left to Zaccagni. Pellegrini's overlapping in the final third. Zaccagni crosses himself towards Immobile, who heads wide. What an opportunity. In the 6-yard box, he was all alone and couldn't direct it on target. Beautiful ball by Zaccagni. Used the run of Pellegrini as a decoy to work more space, to get onto his right foot. Curl that one in. It took a nick off the head of De Ligt, which set it up for Immobile. And he couldn't work Neuer in the Bayern Munich goal. Wide it went, but what an opportunity that is. Got him behind Dyer, who left him unmarked, and you don't want to leave Immobile unmarked, usually. But that time, he's headed wide. That's probably the biggest chance of the game we've had. Don't get me wrong, it was a tight-ish angle for Immobile. He wasn't directly in front of goal, he was just towards the far post, but still, he's got to work the goalkeeper minimum. He's buying a forward in the final third. Kimmich again onto his weaker left foot. Doesn't force the cross, goes back to Pavlovic. It's now to Goretzka. 30 yards from goal. He's got Guerrero out to the left. He'll find him. Guerrero takes a touch inside and goes back into Guerrero. Goes back to Goretzka, sorry. Across to De Ligt. He's got Sane in front of him. 5 yards. Finds him. Sane on his left foot. Forward to Muller. Returns it to Sane, who's moving across the 18-yard box. Reverses the ball back towards Kane. Eventually drops to Musiala. Guerrero's free on the left. They find him. Guerrero just outside the box. Goes to Sane on the edge of the area. And then back to Goretzka. Being very patient here by Munich. De Ligt, 25 yards out. He wants to shoot. He will try it. Deflects off Immobile. Cleared by Anderson on the edge of the box. Out towards the Lazio left where Immobile chased it. But it's De Ligt to get there first and fire it out to the right to Kimmich. And Bayern Munich can come again. As we are nearing half-time here. Guerrero. Into the box to Kane. Out of the box to Pavlovic. Curls it into the far post. Muller heads it back. Guerrero strikes it. Comes off Kane. And he slips through. Harry Kane must have got a touch as he wheels away in celebration. And Bayern Munich have their equaliser and aggregate. They're 1-up on the night. And for a goalkeeper who is almost so reliable at all times, just let that one slip through. It trickled over the line. As Bayern were being very patient there. Guerrero went into the box with his pass to Kane. He went back to Pavlovic. And Muller, who makes those runs so well into the box, headed it backwards to Guerrero, who shot into the ground, deflected towards Kane, who nodded towards goal. Firm contacts from the former Spurs striker. He got it on target. He beat Marusic to it. And the pace was too much for Providel, who got a big right hand to it, but could only touch the ball into the side of the goal. And it is relief for Bayern Munich as they are back level in this last 16 tie. And it's Bayern 1, Lazio 0, 1-1 on aggregate. And Harry Kane scores only his third knockout goal in this competition. This is 26th in the Champions League. 3 of them in the knockouts, 23 of them in the group stages. But what a time to get another Bayern Munich goal as Kane has it to Sane, who's in the middle of the park again, but tackled really well from behind by Zaccagni. But the deflection drops to Kane. Back to Goretzka. Out wide to Kimmich in the final third. Forward to Muller. Into the box to Sane. On the angle. Squares it. Musiala strikes and it's just wide of the far post. Nearly instantly ahead there, Bayern. Musiala this time directing the left-footed shot wide, but Bayern have got their tails up and Lazio just need half-time. Just going to change the scoreline here before we get the next goal. And it looks like Bayern could be scoring another one soon. It's been fantastic from Bayern Munich the last 5 minutes. They really switched it on. And I think the best part of it for Bayern was just the patience. They were just waiting for the right opportunity, and they've took a huge chance there. Harry Kane, 32 goals now for Bayern Munich in his 33rd appearance for the club. As Lazio aren't done here. Zaccagni cutting in from the left-hand side, playing it across to Guendouzi, lifts it to the far post. What on earth is that? Showing his lack of creative ability there, Matteo Guendouzi. On the edge of the box, just tried to stand it up to the far post, but no one was making a run there, and it never looked like anyone was making a run to that area of the box, but that's what he went for, and he's given Bayern Munich the ball back. But I think for the Italian side now, it's just getting at half-time with this scoreline, because they have looked good going forward, Lazio. I mean, that time they didn't, but, you know, for the majority of the first half, they have looked okay going forward. You know, Immobile had a huge chance a couple of minutes before the goal. It's Bayern on the ball inside their own half here with Dyer. He racked up over 360 appearances for Tottenham in his 10-year stay at the club. Clearly wasn't a part of Ange Postecoglou's plan. Dyer played four times for Spurs this season, all in the Premier League, just the one start, as it's Guerrero in the left wing position again in the final third, trying to get it beyond Anderson towards to Musiala, but dealt with by the Brazilian winger, who receives the ball here, heads it forward to Guendouzi, heads it back to Anderson, Guendouzi again, another 1-2, but that time cut out by Goretzka, kicks it over his head, dealt with by Marusic, as far as Guerrero, couldn't find Guendouzi, and it's Bayern again on the near side, forward to Musiala, back to Goretzka, and across to Pavlovic, who gets beyond Alberto, plays it to his right to Sane, uses his body to turn away from Alberto, and it's gone Lazio's way for the free kick. Sane went down, believing he got tripped. Referee didn't give it, and as he got tripped there, Sane, the ball ran across his body and off his hand, so it's actually gone Lazio's way as a handball. Probably a free kick, really. Caught the top of his thigh, caught the bottom of his thigh there, Alberto. So I'm rather surprised that the ref didn't give a free kick, but Bayern just have to forget it and move on. 2 minutes of the first half to go. And it's probably a case of Bayern Munich not wanting the half-time whistle. They are on top after just scoring. As Lazio reached out with a goalkeeper, Providel. Switched it out to the right-back, Marusic, who'll have to challenge with Guerrero. Flicks it on the Lazio full-back, finding Anderson. Guendouzi just away from Immobile. And it's picked up by Pavlovic. Needs to get those passes right, really, there, Guendouzi. And it's now with the left centre-half, Eric Dyer for Bayern Munich. He's got Guendouzi closing him down. Going to Neuer again. Onto his left foot. Dribbling out of his area and clearing it out of play for a throw-in. He had Immobile on his back there, Neuer. Had to be very careful. And it's a Lazio throw-in on their right-hand side here. Thanks to everyone who's here. A great amount of likes as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. That massively helps the channel out. Next two commentaries you can see going across the screen. Benfica Rangers on Thursday, then Aston Villa Spurs on the Sunday. As it's another Lazio throw-in in the final third. Anderson kicking the ball off Guerrero. Thrown in towards Guendouzi, nodded down by Goretzka to Felipe Anderson. Left-footed ball, it's a deeper one. Kimmich heads it up into the air, still in the box. De Ligt wins the next header, still alive. Headed away again by Pavlovic. Drops to the left-back, Pellegrini for Lazio. To the halfway line to Romagnoli. Lifted ball out to the left-hand side there. Dealt with by De Ligt. Towards Sane, headed forward by Pellegrini. Alberto, back to Vecino. Into Immobile. Alberto again. Pellegrini, the full-back, crosses. It must deflect, surely. It doesn't according to the referee, and it's given a goal kick. Luca Pellegrini can't believe it. The one who put the cross in. It was quite away from the box. It was almost just a straight hit cross out of play. I'm quite surprised that didn't take a deflection, but the referee's given a goal kick. So we've hit the 45th minute, just the 1 minute of added on time. 1 minute put up by the fourth official tonight, Mate Jug. As Guerrero tries to go down the line there towards Musiala, deflects out of play for a Bayern Munich throw. De Ligt. Out to Kimmich on the right-hand side. Midway inside the Lazio half. Looks down the line. Finds Muller. Kimmich is overlapping. Muller will cross himself. It's a bit of a deeper one. Marusic wins the header to Pavlovic. It's now to Musiala, 22 yards from goal. Skipping beyond one challenge and laying off to Guerrero, who pulls it back. Deflects off Marusic. Corner on the near side. And I believe this will probably be the last opportunity for Bayern Munich before the end of this first half. A half they've dominated and probably deservedly back in the tie with the equaliser. So they've got the right-footed in-swinging option of Kimmich, the left-footed out-swinging option of Guerrero. Cross goes in, header won by Immobile, volleyed by De Ligt! And that is unbelievable! What a goal that is! From Bayern centre-back, Matthijs De Ligt, to put them ahead. I cannot believe what I have just seen. The corner put in at the near post, flicked away by Immobile to the far corner, where De Ligt's volleyed in towards goal, and it's headed in by Muller. Was Muller offside? It was a sweet strike from De Ligt, which I think looked like it was actually going wide. It was headed into the back of the net by Muller. Is he onside? Oh, I think he is. Lazio don't push up in time. And it's Thomas Muller, the so very experienced Bayern Munich legend at this club. Nods home from a couple of yards. It's instinctive. It's brilliant. It's got Bayern ahead at half-time as the whistle's blown. It's Bayern Munich 2, Lazio 0, 2-1 on aggregate. Oh, how I wish De Ligt had scored that directly. I thought he had. I didn't know Muller had got the touch. But two-headed goals for Bayern Munich have got them ahead. It's so well hit by De Ligt with his right foot. Proper volley. And it was just going wide. It wasn't far away. But the touch from Muller was needed to direct it towards goal and into the back of the net. And it's 2-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate, and we are at half-time. The whistle was blown almost immediately after the goal. But I know one of the players who didn't push up was Felipe Anderson. There was 2 Lazio players who didn't push up. I didn't quite catch who the other one was, but Anderson was one who had just lingered back behind the defensive line, which can happen when attackers defend. They usually just drop off a little, not even knowingly. They just hover back a bit, not pushing up quick enough, and it left Muller onside, who got his head towards the ball. And for Thomas Muller, that is goal number 54 in the Champions League. It's his first of the season in this competition, his third in all competitions this season for Bayern Munich. And the 34-year-old just still has it. And Bayern lead at half-time in the tie. With the way that Bayern Munich are playing, it's probably going to be the German side to progress through, but I'm not just saying this to keep it interesting as a neutral point of view, and as a commentator, you've got to try and make the game sound as exciting as possible so you don't get bored and you don't stop watching. But I wouldn't rule out Lazio. I really wouldn't, and I'm not just saying that, I'm really not. They've looked okay going forward, and I definitely think there's still weaknesses in this Bayern side that they can exploit. You know, you've got Kimmich playing right-back, who hasn't played right-back for a very long time, only up until recently. Dyer as well, someone who they can really aim for. Guerrero likes to get forward. And when they've got Immobile, Alberto, Anderson as well, I don't think it's over. Like I say, a couple of minutes before the Bayern Munich first goal with Kane, Immobile should have scored. He had a header from about 6 yards out, far post. And, you know, if that goal goes in, whole game changes, but he missed, and like I said, that last 10 minutes of the first half, Bayern Munich really switched on and performed. And, 17 shots they had in the first leg. They've had 17 shots in this first half. So they've already equalled the amount of shots they had in the first leg. 4 on target, 2 of them have gone in. Lazio, just the 3 shots, 0 on target. But they have got forward a lot, Lazio. Not always ending in a shot on goal, but they are getting forward and they are getting into the Bayern Munich 18-yard box. So I wouldn't rule them out yet. If Bayern score a third, then it's a long day for Lazio. But at the moment, while it's just the one, I wouldn't rule them out just yet. And we know how shaky Bayern Munich have been in recent weeks. They are not what they usually are. So it's definitely all to play for in this second half that will be coming up in around 10 or 15 minutes time. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like, subscribe, that's fantastic. If you've got any questions in the chat or any points you want to make or any conversations you want to start, you definitely can. You're more than welcome to. As in the other game, PSG are 1-0 up against Real Sociedad. They're still playing. No, they're not playing. It's just gone to half-time. Mbappe's made it 3, so it looks like PSG are going to progress through ahead of Sociedad. At the moment, it's Bayern Munich. And then tomorrow, we've got Real Madrid, Leipzig, and Man City, Copenhagen. So we could have, by tomorrow, we could have Bayern, PSG, Real Madrid, and Manchester City through. That is a great 4 to have already through. Then we could have Arsenal in there, Barcelona, Dortmund, and Inter. That's you could have some really tasty quarterfinals in there, and semi-finals will be very, very good as well. So it's really starting to shape up the Champions League as we are coming towards the end of the last 16. We've got the next set of fixtures to come next week when Arsenal play Porto, Barcelona host Napoli, Dortmund have got PSV, and Atletico Madrid welcome Inter Milan. But yeah, we're starting to really heat up the Champions League, and it's starting to become quite a little bit clear after the first legs who will go through, who won't. But there's always drama in this competition. As Thomas Muller had played at Lazio twice previously, Thomas Muller, and he'd started both of those two away from home. This is the first time he's playing Lazio at home, and he has scored that headed goal, scoring his 238th Bayern Munich goal, which is just absolutely ridiculous from Thomas Muller. What a player. He's one of my favourite ever players, Thomas Muller. I think he's an absolute joy to watch. The position he plays, the spaces and pockets he picks up, he's just a brilliant player. And, he's been at Bayern Munich since 2000, Thomas Muller, since the age of 10. He's been there for so long, 24 years now. And he is the man who's got Bayern Munich ahead in the tie. But they probably do deserve that, Bayern Munich. There was a bit more impetus in their play tonight than the first leg. But that Immobile chance, as we mentioned, it was just before the goal. Zaccagni from the left wing with his right foot, in-swinging cross to Immobile. He just didn't even work it on target. I think that's the frustration for Immobile. He's got to at least be working the goalkeeper, and then literally a couple minutes later, Kane scores. It was a good ball from Pavlovic to find Muller, who'd made a run to the far post. He headed it across to Guerrero, whose shot was scuffed into the ground, and it just lifted itself up for Kane, who were around 6 yards out, headed it towards goal. Providel got a big hand to it, but the power was too much for the Italian goalkeeper, and Kane scores once again for Bayern Munich. Guerrero loves an assist. I don't think he meant that one. I think he was trying to shoot more than anything, but dragged his shot wildly wide, but it was actually a really good pass for Kane, who got his head to it and beyond the goalkeeper, and he made it 1-0 on the night. And then right on half-time, literally last attack, last kick of the game, Muller made it 2. Corner went into the near post, headed away by Immobile to the far post, where De Ligt on his own had a free volley, and I thought he'd put it in. I thought it went all the way in from De Ligt, but it actually was glanced in by Thomas Muller, well caught by De Ligt, and it looked like he'd gone straight in, but Muller, who stayed onside, Anderson and Pellegrini, the ones playing him on, and from 2-3 yards out, Muller just let the ball deflect off his head, directing it into the back of the net. No chance for the Lazio goalkeeper that time from closer range than the Kane effort. And it was really smart there from Muller to stay where he was. Trust himself that he was onside with the fact that Anderson and Pellegrini hadn't pushed up, and he was never going to really miss from there. Thomas Muller, who only scored once last season in the Champions League. He's got his first of the season this time around. So his third start in this Champions League as well, and they've all come in the last 5 games. Sorry. But the second half will be getting underway in around 5 minutes time or so. We have got other games in other leagues. We've got Championship football going on as well, so we'll have a look at who's winning there. Coventry are 4-0 up against Rotherham, who are, I think, doomed to be relegated this season. Hull are 1-0 up to Birmingham, who are sliding down that table quicker by the minute, Birmingham, which is a little bit worrying as their manager, Tony Mowbray, is currently out at the moment, just, I think, recovering from illness. So they are technically managerless, Birmingham, at the moment. Blackburn and Millwall are 0-0. Leeds the lead. Stoke 1-0. Dan James with that one. Sunderland trail at home to Leicester. Vardy with the goal, as Leicester have lost their last 3 games, I think, in all competitions. So a much needed win there at Stadium of Light if they can hold on. And Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth is 0-0. Plymouth, again, it's so close near the bottom. Even though they're 16th Plymouth, they are just 3 points away from the relegation places. So it is very close and tight in the Championship in terms of the relegation race, the playoff race and the title race. It's looking like a really exciting end to the Championship season. And then the games tomorrow are Southampton, Preston, Middlesbrough take on Norwich, Cardiff host Huddersfield, Watford against Swansea, and QPR at home to West Brom. But yeah, if you are new, make sure you like, subscribe, and if you're here, make sure you stay now. Don't go anywhere, because the second half will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time, and we don't want to miss the second half of this one, because again, I don't think it's over. I just don't write off Lazio yet. I think, like I said before, if it goes to 2-0, then I'll give it up, and I think it'll be Bayern Munich to go through. But yeah, while it's 1 goal, the fact that they have shown signs to attack, and I think, Immobile will be absolutely kicking himself. He didn't at least work Neuer with that header just before the first Bayern Munich goal. And I think for Bayern Munich as well, they just need to try and just restart the same way they ended the second, because I think half-time came at the wrong stage for Bayern Munich. I think if the first half went on a little bit longer, they could have even got a third, but I think they did well right before the break to get the second, to put themselves ahead whilst they were really striving with the momentum. But a huge commentary as well coming on Thursday. I am so excited for it, as Benfica take on Rangers in the Europa League last 16 first leg. We are covering both legs of that. So we've got the first leg this Thursday and the second leg next Thursday. Benfica Rangers. I am so excited to see that game. And then in the weekend, we've got Aston Villa Spurs at 1 o'clock UK time on Sunday. And then the next day on the Monday at 8 o'clock at night, we have got Chelsea against Newcastle in the Premier League. So we've got 3 more commentaries coming in the next 6 days. Benfica Rangers on the Thursday, Villa Spurs on the Sunday, and Chelsea Newcastle on the Monday. The second half of this one will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time. literally 2 minutes before Kane scored that Immobile chance, the header free at the far post, directing it wide. He's so clinical, usually Immobile. It's so strange how he's missed that header so badly. Ciro Immobile is Lazio's all-time leading scorer with 206 goals. He's making his 330th appearance for the club tonight. And he's got a great record in the Champions League as well, Immobile. He's got 13 goals in 22, 9 goals in 12 for Lazio. So he's usually so clinical in this competition, but that header just could not direct it on target. And next thing you know, 10 minutes later, Lazio are 2-0 down on the night and 2-1 down in aggregate. But both sets of players are in the tunnel at the moment. Luca Pellegrini, Lazio left back, just having a conversation with the referee Slavko Vincic. I don't know what Pellegrini's saying to him, because he was one of the ones who kept Muller on side, and you can't have any complaints there, Pellegrini. That's his responsibility to push up and not linger back and keep everyone on side. So they are re-emerging. Back onto the pitch, there is Thomas Tuchel, who was appointed in March 2023, coming up to a year in the job. But he'll already be leaving at the end of the season. He will pass the 50-game mark for Bayern Munich if he stays beyond tonight, because it was rumoured that if Bayern Munich crash out tonight, that Thomas Tuchel would lose his job. But they're leading at the moment. As it looks like we're about to get back underway for this second half here. As it'll be Bayern Munich kick off, kicking left to right. Lazio right to left. They've got it all to do here. The Italian away side who now trail on aggregate by a goal. But they've got the firepower to turn this around. But they have been weak away from home in the Champions League this season. 2 losses from their 3. They beat Celtic away in the very last minute as well. That must be said, a very late goal in that game. And then they lost 3-1 to Feyenoord and 2-0 to Atletico Madrid. So they just haven't been very good on the travels in the Champions League as we're back underway here. Lazio on the ball. Anderson driving away. Tackle by Goretzka on halfway on the far side. Forward to Musiala. Keeps it away from Guendouzi. And that's great skill from Musiala. It's now in the centre circle with Kimmich. And it's Bayern Munich on the ball. I do apologise. Just going to get this timer started. As it is with De Ligt, who got the assist for the second goal. Kimmich driving back towards his own goal, being closed down by Pellegrini. And it's now back with De Ligt. It's now to Neuer in the 18-yard box. He was looking for his 50th clean sheet in the Champions League for Bayern Munich, Manuel Neuer. Forward to Pavlovic on his first ever Champions League start. He is a current Germany under-20 international. Alexander Pavlovic. Kimmich at right back. Still inside the Bayern half here. It's back with the 37-year-old of Manuel Neuer. And I mentioned a stat in the first half of how Bayern Munich have been eliminated in each of their last 7 Champions League ties where they've lost the first leg. The last 2 times that they have actually gone through after losing the first leg were both in the last 16. In 2007 to Real Madrid and 2012 to Basel. So if they ever do lose a first leg, they can usually turn it around in the last 16 by Munich. As they got on halfway here to Musiala. Has to go back to De Ligt, as he was being closed down there by Immobile. So we're under 2, just about to hit the second minute in this second half, and it's still Bayern leading 2-0. No major chances yet since the restart. De Ligt to Kimmich. Now to De Ligt again. To Neuer. Clears it first time. Out to the Bayern right here. Towards Kane on halfway. Header won there by Romagnoli. Drops here to Kimmich. Who will play it I think, back here to De Ligt. But Lazio, like Bayern, come into this game in poor form. Lazio have lost 4 of their last 6 Serie A games to AC Milan, Fiorentina, Bologna and Atalanta. So, despite losing 4 of the last 6, they're 4 tough opponents, in fairness to Lazio. They've all come in the last month, those 4 defeats. Kimmich lifts it inside, cut out there by Vecino. Drops to Alberto. Zaccagni. Oh, I can't find Alberto, but Zaccagni was caught there by Kimmich. And that'll be a free kick for Lazio on the near side. Looks like Bayern Munich had won the ball back there, but Zaccagni stayed down. Definitely felt that one. The Italian left winger. Making his first ever appearance against Bayern Munich tonight. Yeah, just trod on his toe there, Kimmich. Rather accidental, possibly. But the referee's given it as a foul. And it's about 40 yards from goal. Right towards this near side here. So, angle and distance made for a cross. Got the right foot of Alberto. And he will be the one to take it. It's a good ball in. Strong header won though by Goretzka. And it'll fall here to Guendouzi. Goes back to Marusic. Across to Pellegrini in a central area. Has to go back to the goalkeeper after being pressed here from Muller. Providel. Poor ball straight to Musiala. Touch goes behind him, but he can keep it. And goes back to Goretzka. And it just kills that attack there. If Musiala's touch was in front of him, then it was alarm bells and danger for Lazio. Really bad giveaway from Ivan Providel, the goalkeeper. Trying to curl it out to the Lazio right. Now with De Ligt midway inside the Bayern half. Out to the right full back of Kimmich. Looking towards his own goal here. So has to go back to De Ligt. Across to Eric Dyer. Guerrero. Forward to Musiala. Flicks it inside here to Goretzka. Forward to Kane in the centre circle. The run of Kimmich is being made in behind and he finds him. Great ball from Kane. Kimmich in the final third. Plenty of bodies in the box. Crosses. Far post. Headed into the air by Marusic. Drops to Muller. Lifts it in towards Kane. Dealt with by Romagnoli, who can clear out to the Bayern left where it's brought down well by Guerrero. Forward here to Muller again. In the left wing position. Just outside the 18-yard box. Onto his right foot. Deflected cross. Brought down by Alberto. And Lazio can bring it away now. Out to the left here to Zaccagni. And then back to the left back of Pellegrini. It's Lazio back on the ball in their 18-yard box of goalkeeper Providel. It's now to Mario Gila, the Spanish centre-back, who spent 4 years at Real Madrid, making 2 appearances for them, the first team, in April and May of 2022, before leaving in the July of that year to Lazio. Anderson, pass deflects off Muller, and it'll be a throw-in midway inside the Lazio half on the far side. Taken by their right-back of Marusic, who made 5 starts in Europe last season as Lazio played in the Europa League and then were knocked out in the group stages but dropped into the Conference League where they were beaten in the last 16 by AZ Alkmaar. As they've lost it here through the throw-in. Musiala in a very confined space, loses possession. Immobile on the halfway line. Tries to find Guendouzi, deflects off Musiala. Throw-in here for Lazio. This tie is still well and truly in the balance here. Just the 1 goal separating the two. On aggregate. Marusic throws it into Immobile. Chests it into Anderson. Back it goes to the left back of Pellegrini. It's now with Zaccagni. Still inside his own half here just about. Gets away from Kimmich. Good burst of pace from Zaccagni. Pass forward comes off Pavlovic but straight to Vecino. Now it's now out to the right here to Marusic. Anderson. Marusic overlaps. He lifts it into him. Here is the Lazio right back. He crosses it into Immobile. Cross. The shot comes off De Ligt and it can be dealt with. But Immobile stays down. Asking for a foul there. As Bayern are going to stop the play. As the cross went in there. Immobile went to strike. Nah, not for me. Immobile more kicked De Ligt than De Ligt's fouling Immobile. Immobile got contact to the ball there. And to be fair, the incident wasn't really caused by any player purposefully. De Ligt was standing in front of Immobile to block his shot. Immobile kicked the ball and just went on the follow-through, kicked De Ligt. It's no penalty. Nothing will be given there for sure. Just strong defending there from the Dutch centre-back. And Immobile just needed a bit of treatment here because he did catch De Ligt. So, it's not like he's faking the injury. There was contact, but it was more enforced from Immobile as his shot, his right foot from the shot just went through onto De Ligt. So Immobile is back to his feet, walking to the side of the pitch here of the Lazio and medical team. And Lazio will throw it back here into Eric Dyer, and we're back underway here. We're hoping for Lazio's sake here that Immobile will be okay to continue as he's just jogging around the pitch at the moment. As Bayern build from the back. Guerrero. Back to the halfway line here to number 8, Leon Goretzka. Making his 48th appearance in the Champions League. Goretzka coming up towards half a century. As Kimmich been forced to go back here to De Ligt on halfway. As Lazio are currently a man down at the moment. As it's Sane, it's Muller on the right wing position, running at Pellegrini, crossing to the far post, it avoids Kane, and it goes through to Guerrero, who will keep it in on the byline. Goes back here to Musiala in the corner of the box on the left-hand side, going across the area, and then letting fly, and it just goes wide. Claims of a deflection, and the referee sees it. Corner for Bayern on the near side. Musiala struck, yep, good see. Well seen there by the referee. Just came off the foot of Guendouzi to curl the ball wide. Better from Bayern, who are looking to get a 2-goal lead on aggregate to really settle themselves in this second leg. It's going to be, I think, another outswinger from Kimmich. They've all been taken by Kimmich from both sides, which has been interesting. He will just glide this one to the far post. Guendouzi wins the header, though. And he's fouled there by Goretzka, coming in from behind. And that'll be a free kick for Lazio in the 18-yard box. Good defending, brave, strong defending from Matteo Guendouzi. That's just a bit of a shove in the back there from Goretzka. Anderson, tackle by Goretzka. Loose ball drops to Romagnoli. Back forward to Anderson in the central area. Then to the left it goes to Alberto. Beyond the halfway line. Immobile's back on the pitch. He plays it through for Zaccagni, who's got Immobile in the 18-yard box. He cuts in instead onto his right foot, trying to release it. But the pass goes away from a Lazio player. Cleared forward for Bayern. Headed away by Romagnoli. It's now in the centre circle with Vecino, who can keep it for Lazio. And it's now with Guendouzi on the far side. On the halfway line. Finding Anderson. Turning away from Goretzka, being pulled back by Goretzka, and the free kick is given for Lazio, taken quickly by Anderson out to the left here, where we touched on by Zaccagni, can't be caught by Immobile. De Ligt back to Neuer, forward to Goretzka, and then to the right centre-back of De Ligt, and then back to Neuer. It's a bit short, who has to hurry the clearance as Immobile was closed him down, played forward by Vecino, touched by Pavlovic, and Bayern Munich back in possession. To the far side here to Guerrero. Musiala, beyond Vecino. Musiala, out to the right to Kimmich, in the area, towards the byline, needs to cross it. Lifts it in. Volleyed away on the penalty spot by Marusic. Couldn't quite find Kane. Guerrero loses out to Guendouzi. Then forward here to Zaccagni. Counter-attack on for Lazio. Out to the left to Alberto, who lacks pace, but he'll get there ahead of De Ligt. Here is Luis Alberto on the near side. Having to slow the game down, which allows Bayern to get players back. And Lazio can get a few forward. And it's the away side now in possession. On the halfway line with Gila. Now to Anderson in the right wing position. Midway side the Bayern half. Back he goes to Gila again. Alberto inside to Vecino. 1-2 with Immobile. Back out to the left here to Alberto. Forward to Zaccagni. 25 yards out. Immobile, back to Alberto, into the space now for Pellegrini, who first time cross will be deflected off Sane. And that is a throw-in in the final third here for Lazio, who are still well in this game. Just a goal behind at the moment, and they've showed glimpses of opportunity throughout the game. Pellegrini throws to Alberto, tackle by Sane. And it'll be seen out for a Bayern throw. Throwing went in towards Alberto, couldn't quite keep the ball under his control, and Sane could see the ball out for a throw-in. It's a bit of a waste. Thanks to everyone who subscribed. Huge amount of yous have, which is appreciated more than you can imagine. The likes really help as well. And if you want to become a member, you can, but you really don't have to. But if you want to support in more ways, then that is a possible way. It's got this throw-in in the Bayern half, thrown back by Kimmich into the defensive third to De Ligt. It's now with Neuer in the 18-yard box. Immobile is coming closer towards him, but he can clear it in time here, Neuer. It's a long ball towards Muller. I think it comes off Healer, straight to Kane, who gets away from Vecino. Harry Kane now bringing the ball forward. There's an option out left, finds him. Guerrero touching the box, and he strikes it, but drags it wide. Muller's asking for the corner, and I don't think he's going to get it. Muller corner. That's good, that. Muller corner. Not funny. As Guerrero mentioned in the first half, he's known for his attacking play, Guerrero, left back. Can score a lot of goals. Scored 40 for Dortmund. Not as many, though, for Bayern Munich in his first season. Unfortunately, he's just got the 2 in the Bundesliga. His last against Union Berlin in late January. But just dragged that one wide, but it was well worked by Kane, who we know is very good at receiving the ball deep or collecting the ball from a deeper area and bringing it forward and releasing the pass. It's Kimmich on halfway on the near side. Goes forward to Sane, across to Pavlovic. So in the centre circle here with Goretzka. Slowly being closed down by Guendouzi. Can work it out to the left here to Guerrero. As Bayern will just settle on the ball here for the moment. And as well, across all European competition, Lazio have progressed from 12 of their last 13 knockout ties when winning the first leg. And the one time they previously went out after winning the first leg was in the Europa League in 2018 against RB Salzburg. So usually in history, when Lazio have won the first leg, they don't usually go out. But this could be a time where the opposite happens and they do go out after winning the first leg. As we're going to get triple change here from Lazio. So Vecino, the Uruguayan, is going to be replaced by number 32, Cataldi, who started the first leg. It was his first start in the Champions League of the season. Zaccagni will be replaced by Isaacson. That's one change I was gobsmacked at when the lineups went out. I thought Gustav Isaacson, the Danish winger, who won the penalty in the first leg, was unreal. But for some reason, he went for Zaccagni instead. But he's on for the last half hour. And Immobile, the 34-year-old, has come off for Tati Castellanos, the Argentine striker brought in for €15 million in the summer from New York City FC. So it's 2 changes at the top and then 1 in the holding midfield position. As it's Castellanos getting his first few touches of the ball. Goes to right back Marusic on halfway. Forward to Isaacson. Being forced to go back to Marusic as PSG are 2-0 up. It's a double from Mbappe, so they're through. 4-0 on aggregate against Real Sociedad. Guendouzi on halfway. Laying it off here to Cataldi, who's took the captain's armband from Immobile. He's now just inside their own half here with Healer. Forward to Alberto. Lays it off for Cataldi. It's now Romagnoli. Passing the halfway line. Going out to the left here to Pellegrini. 1-2 of Alberto. Heavy pass there, but Pellegrini will not meet it ahead of De Ligt. And that'll be a throw-in in the final third for Lazio. And Pellegrini wants to take this as quickly as possible. But just waiting for a little bit of movement from his attacking players. Throw-in goes to Castellanos. Can't get the return ball from Anderson, who pokes it away from Sane. So Lazio back on the ball. Played back to their goalkeeper, Providel. Midway side their own half here. Goes out to the right to Marusic. The Belgrade-born right back. He gets the ball back from Guendouzi, who was fouled by Musiala. But the referees played advantage as they go back into the 6-yard box to Providel. Now forward to the edge of the 18-yard box to Romagnoli. Alberto lays it off for Cataldi. Out to the right to Guendouzi. This is better from Lazio. Probably the best passage of play they've had in this second half. As they go inside it to Alberto, flicks it into Cataldi, forward to Castellanos, out to the right to Alberto, caught in possession by Goretzka. It goes back to Neuer, who then lifts it out to the left back. Guerrero in the defensive third, finds Goretzka, fouled from behind by Castellanos, and that'll be a free kick for Bayern on the edge of the box. Really frustrating that from Lazio. They worked that really well, but Alberto just hesitated on the ball, which allowed himself to be tackled there. And it's still 2-1 on aggregate here at the Allianz Arena. Kimmich at right back. Goes into De Ligt in the 18-yard box. It's now with Neuer. Neuer making his 500 and 10th appearance for Bayern Munich. Just one off equalling 9th place in the all-time appearance makers for Bayern Munich. As it is the home side on the ball, just inside their own half at the moment. Pavlovic, the 19-year-old midfielder, turns 20 in May. Signed a new 4-year deal at the club in November 2023. And he's on the ball again, the number 45, Pavlovic. Keeps it away from Castellanos. Then forward it goes to Musiala. He's just drifted out to the left-hand side here. Finds Kane. He goes all the way back here with the ball himself to find Pavlovic. And out to the right to Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich, Guerrero's free on the left, finds him, brings it down. Guerrero, back into Goretzka, out to Guerrero again in the final third. Loads of time to pick a cross out. Doesn't decide to put the ball in, goes to Goretzka. Now with Dyer, Pavlovic, De Ligt on halfway. 25 minutes left to play here. Muller, pass deflects forward off Pellegrini, helped on by Alberto. Not in front, not in towards his intended target of Castellanos. And it's back with Bayern Munich with Manuel Neuer in goal. He also signed a new deal in November 2023. 2-year contract, keeping his stay at the club till the end of 2025 season. As it's with Goretzka. Into the centre circle here with Pavlovic. And then lays it off at De Ligt. Across to Dyer, who has made 5 starts in the Bundesliga since joining the club in January. All 7 of his Bayern Munich appearances have come in the league. This is his debut for them in the Champions League. De Ligt. Now to this near side now to Kimmich. Goes to his left to Pavlovic. Forward to Muller. First time ball out to the right to Sane. Entering the box on his left foot. Sane shoots. Parried. Kane on the rebound. Flag stays down. And Bayern Munich have that cushion. They are 2 goals up on aggregate. 3-0 on the night. A much needed result here in Munich for a team who have been lacking confidence. But tonight, they are showing everyone what they are about and what they can do. Sane receiving the ball from Muller first time, driving into the box. From that right-hand side, we know Sane wants it on his left foot. That's exactly what he did. And as he struck towards goal, it was going towards that bottom left corner, where Provedel got down low to save it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not great goalkeeping. He parried it straight back out to danger instead of tipping it wide, and it fell straight to Kane, who on his own at the far post with his left foot just about worked it beyond the goalkeeper, who was trying to recover from his error. And Harry Kane's got a brace. He averages 1 goal a game now for Bayern. And it is the home side in the lead. It's Bayern 3, Lazio 0. It is 3-1 to the German side on aggregate. And I think that could just be that for this tie. Bayern have recovered it in the second leg at home. And 2 of the goals have come from Harry Kane. He scored 3 hat-tricks for them in the league. He's got 2 tonight. He also scored a brace in the Champions League away at Galatasaray. And he's got another brace tonight. 1 with his head, 1 with his left foot. Just needs 1 with his right for a perfect hat-trick. As we've got a quarter of the game left here. And I probably think it's probably a little bit too big of a mountain to climb for Lazio, with not very long left in this game. Kimmich at right back as we're back underway here. De Ligt, just outside the 18-yard box, forward to Sane, who wants to take it on the turn, but has to go back to Pavlovic as he had Cataldi on his back. Musiala, out to the left to Guerrero, who goes beyond the halfway line and plays it down the left here for Kane. Something for him to chase, but he's not known for his pace, and it deflects off the corner flag and out for a throw-in. But for Harry Kane, making his 40th appearance in the competition. 27 goals. His 4th in the knockout stages. And it's just that comfort for Bayern Munich with the rest of this game left now. The fact that they've got that 2-goal advantage. As mentioned before, Tuchel has never been knocked out before the quarter-final stage. And it looks like that's going to remain the case this season. Sane drifting out to this left-hand side. Plays it forward here to Guerrero. Goretzka. Across to De Ligt on the halfway line. Kimmich. Pulled down there by Pellegrini, but he can turn him and play can carry on. Musiala can't get away from Alberto. Pellegrini away from the side challenger Muller. Pellegrini still tried to bring it forward. Finds Anderson on the left wing. Away from Pavlovic. But then tackled by Sane. Good defensive work from Bayern Munich's number 10. And it's Bayern back on the ball. Really good work there from Sane, who's having a frustrating season at the moment. His 8 Bundesliga goals came in the first 9 games. He's not scored in the last 14 he's played in the Bundesliga, Leroy Sane. He was out at the weekend against Freiburg, and he's just struggling for goals at the moment. Leroy Sane scored so many at the beginning of the season. As it's Bayern on the ball with 20 minutes left to play. Eric Dyer has it inside the Bayern half, as I think Lazio understand if they try and go for this a little bit more, they'll probably just concede another goal. So they've got to try and be as careful as possible. Musiala turning away from Guendouzi on the halfway line. Pavlovic going across to De Ligt. Kimmich on this near side, dribbling back towards his own half, finding Pavlovic and then into De Ligt again. Goretzka sliding the ball away there as his action nearly caught him out in his own half, and he can get it through to Musiala and then forward to Muller in the box. Thomas Muller for his second, it's off the post. So close for Muller as the Bayern counter-attack was almost deadly. Goretzka playing it forward to Musiala. Through for Muller in the box, who shot to the near post. Came off the post, but Sane will let fly himself. And there we go. With Leroy Sane struggling to find the back of the net, and that one's just gone high and wide. With that left foot again. Just an absolute arrow, and that's not far away at all. So close to that top left corner. But it was nearly a Lazio goal there. Goretzka nearly gave it away through his action, but he slid in there, Goretzka, and kicked the ball forward to Musiala, who slotted through Muller, who in the box tried the near post, but good save actually. I don't know if it was going in without the save, but he just clipped it. He just flicked it onto the post with his fingertips there, Providel. As Lazio come forward, great ball there by Healer to Alberto. It's now in the final third of Anderson on the left wing position. Felipe Anderson, long way around Kimmich, pulls it across, deflects. Alberto shoots with the right foot, and that deflects wide. That definitely was going goal bound, but the deflection took it away. Meant Neuer had to make no save. Oh, it's a slight little nick there. It's important from Pavlovic. And if Lazio do get a goal back, it brings the game back to 1 in it on aggregate. But they've got to try and get that next goal as quickly as possible. Ball goes in, headed away at the near post there by Muller. to the chest of Alberto, who's just took the corner. He'll try again. Alberto crosses, headed this time by Goretzka. Away towards Sane. Can't get there ahead of Cataldi, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Providel. He'll bring it up towards the halfway line here, the goalkeeper. And he plays a ball out to the left here, towards Anderson. Goes over his head and controlled by Alberto. It's now with Anderson. Goes across to Cataldi in the middle of the park. Midway side the Bayern half. Goes out to the right here, to Marusic. Forward to Guendouzi, who's going to cross it himself here, to the near post, and there's no one committed. Caught there by Manuel Neuer, and it wasn't the worst of balls there by Matteo Guendouzi. But runs were made elsewhere, and it meant Neuer could come out and catch the ball. As Musial keeps it in on the far side, just inside the Lazio half. Looking for his options. He's been forced to go back here to Guerrero, who's been pressed by Isaacson. So it's now with Dyer. And then across to Matthias de Ligt. Forward to Sane. Keeps it away from Castellanos, who nearly tackled him. Guerrero at left back for Bayern. Still inside their own half here by Munich, as Lazio want to bring on Pedro off the bench. A 3 times winner of this competition with Barcelona. Dyer on the edge of the 18-yard box. Guendouzi closing him down, but he finds Guerrero at left back. He's got Isaacson in front of him, but can find Musiala, who turns away from Cataldi. That is magnificent. Musiala through for Kane, who's peeled to the left. He wants to shoot, I think. I don't know if that was a shot or a cross, but whatever it was, it's ballooned over the crossbar. Muller was making a run to the far post. Kane instead went on his own and fired it over with his left foot. Such an easy goal for Kane on the second for him tonight. Just a poor save from the goalkeeper. And a tap-in for Kane, who's got 33 goals now in 33 appearances for Bayern. It's Felipe Anderson for Lazio, has been replaced by Pedro, who's making his 84th appearance in the Champions League. 18 goals. Scored twice this season, both away from home against Celtic and Feyenoord. Just the one start, though, for him in the Champions League this season. That was away at Atletico Madrid in game week 6. As Lazio bring it forward. He's action in the right wing position, running at Guerrero into the final third, and brought down by Goretzka. And that'll be a free kick here for Lazio. Over the 2 legs, I know he's come off the bench this time and he started the first leg, but Gustav Isaacson, who was brought in for €13 million from Midtjylland, is brilliant. I'm surprised he was dropped to the bench. I know Zaccagni had returned for Lazio, so they wanted to bring him in. He'd been out with a toe injury, but Isaacson won the penalty in the first leg and he was really good. The young Danish winger, who won the Golden Boot in the Danish League last season with 18 goals. And his one-on-one ability, running at defenders, it does strike fear into the opposition. And he's got his side a free kick here. 14 minutes to play. Lazio get a goal back, and it just becomes a bit more of a worrying end for Bayern. That's just on the edge of the box, to the right-hand side, so it's an angle for a cross, delivered by Cataldi, headed away by Goretzka, and a foul's gone against Lazio. Harry Kane, the man on the ground on the penalty spot. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Cataldi put the ball in. Yeah, Goretzka, Kane being held by Healer. Both arms around him. Easy free kick for the referee to give there. Dyer out to the left back of Guerrero. Back into Dyer. Finds Neuer in the 6-yard box. Clips it out to the right. Perfect weight for Kimmich. He looks to find de Ligt again. Deflects off Pedro. Can't keep it in. Throw in for Bayern Munich. Quite fortunate there, Kimmich, that Pedro couldn't keep that in. As we're going to get another change here with 13 minutes to play. It's going to be a double change for Bayern. Number 22. Rafael Guerrero will replace Alphonso Davies, who was injured for 4 games, but returned for the last one against Freiburg. That 2-2 draw they played on Friday night. So he's not quite returning to the starting 11, Alphonso Davies, but he's featuring off the bench. And the second change, we'll see the goal scorer of the second to put them ahead. Thomas Muller brought off for Mathys Tel, the 18-year-old Frenchman who turns 19 next month, making his 31st appearance of the season, Mathys Tel. But he's only made 5 starts. Scored twice in the first 2 Champions League games of the season, Mathys Tel, against Manchester United and Copenhagen. So back in the action here, and Lazio have won a free kick midway side the Bayern half, just to the left-hand side, so a bit of an angle for a cross for the right foot of Luis Alberto. High line from Bayern, about 5 yards in front of the 18-yard box. Just don't want to let Lazio back in this. The cross goes in from Alberto towards the far post. It's been headed behind there by Pavlovic. Really important header, because there was a couple of Lazio players trying to get on the end of that cross. So it'll be a set piece for Lazio. It'll be a right-footed outswinger from Danilo Cataldi, the substitute. Crosses it in. Big header away from Goretzka. And it's Alberto to regain the possession. Goes out to the left to Pellegrini on the angle. You can cross it here if you'd like. He will put it in. It's a deep one. It's well over hit. And out for a goal kick. Waste there from Luca Pellegrini, the loanee from Juventus, as Lazio are going to make their final change. Luis Alberto, their number 10, will come off for Daichi Kamada, who was brought in on a free from Frankfurt and has just not played to the potential that many would have thought he could. The Japanese midfielder, whose only goal in the league and the season came against Napoli in early September. He's not started in Serie A since the 7th of January. And he's come off the bench the last 3 Champions League games. It's just not quite worked out for him, the Europa League winner Kamada. But he's on for the last 10 minutes here. Free kick for Bayern. Elbow into the head there from Romagnoli, and he's picked up a yellow card. Let's have a look here. Jumped into it, and just, there's nothing in that at all. I mean, Harry Kane needs to be careful what he's doing there. He's got a slight arm in the back of the head, but the way he's throwing himself down, holding his head, it's just not a good sign. It's not a good viewing for the younger children who will be watching Harry Kane, looking up to him, and they see him going down like that. Because you do see it, in kids' football these days, the way they go down and stay down. It's clearly why it's because they've seen it on the TVs, and it's just a little bit embarrassing, really. But what can you do? Romagnoli's been yellow carded. As Pellegrini has it left back for Lazio. Into the midfield here to Pedro. Good ball from Pellegrini. Curled out to the right now to Marusic. He goes forward to the halfway line to Isaacson. Tries to replay it back into Marusic. Cut out by Davies, who loses out with a pass towards Musiala. It's now with Guendouzi. He's been forced back to his goalkeeper of Providel. Less than 10 minutes of the 90 to play here. And it's been a comfortable night in the end for Bayern, who got the majority of the work done in the first half, going 2 up right before the break with Muller. Then adding to it with a third through Kane in the 66th minute. A tap in from 6 yards from a parried shot from Leroy Sané. Musiala's won it back off Marusic on that Bayern left. He's been forced to go all the way back here to Dyer. He's been chased down here by Castellanos. Goes across to Neuer in the box. Touches it. And plays it forward here to Pavlovic. And out to the left here to Davies. Great play. Really good from Bayern Munich to get out of that little mess that they were in. Because Lazio decided to press high. And Bayern bring it forward with Kane, edge of the box. Out to the right here to Kimmich. Time in the area. Lifts it in towards Sané. Should have took it on his own there, really, Kimmich. But tried to be unselfish. And Lazio dealt with it for now. Pedro keeping it in on the corner flag. Deflecting the ball off Sané. Goal kick for the away side. But it sat out nicely there for Kimmich. I'm surprised he didn't let fly there. I think that's what Tuchel's saying. I don't understand why Kimmich decided to go for the final pass there. He should have just had a go. Kimmich, who's played every minute so far in the Champions League, yet to score. Just scored the one last season in the Champions League, Kimmich. The penalty, consolation goal against Manchester City. As we're back underway here. And the ball's been run out of play. Lazio throwing. Midway side the Bayern half on the far side. Last touch there came off Goretzka. Throw in take, and he goes back here to Gila for Lazio. Forward to Cataldi, looking for Castellanos, cut out by a slide challenge from Dyer, brought down by Musiala. That is unbelievable, that touch. And then through to Davies, who we know's got electric pace, but that touch is asking a lot of himself there. Dealt with by Gila, slide tackle by Davies, throwing for Lazio in a right-back position. Taken by Marusic, throws it onto Guendouzi, who heads on. Castellanos, touch goes backwards, picked up by Kane. To Davies, who plays it into Dyer, inside the Bayern Munich half. Now Delict, out to the right back of Kimmich. Back to Delict again, slowly being closed down here by Kamada. It's now with Manuel Neuer, who does look like he will be hitting that 50th clean sheet tonight for Bayern Munich in the Champions League. This will be third of the season in the Champions League for the very experienced Bayern Munich goalkeeper. As I've got it on the left-hand side here, Matisse Tel, tackled by Marusic, throwing for Bayern Munich, taken quickly, thrown to the halfway line here to Alphonso Davies, who started all 6 group stage games, but had to miss the first leg of this one with injury. Delict, high ball forward towards Kane, dealt with by Romagnoli. Pedro can't keep the ball. Kicked away by Pavlovic, throwing just inside the Bayern half for Lazio. Usually has better quality than that, Pedro, when on the ball. Switch out to the right. It's a high one. Headed forward by Davies. Played forward by Marusic to Isaacson. Guendouzi in the final third now with Marusic, the right back, who will deliver it. Comes off Davies. Good block. Throwing for Lazio, who is still trying to get this goal back. Might only be a consolation at this point, but it would just put a little bit of pressure on Bayern. Another throw-in. Isaacson pass off Musiala. Throws it down the line. Flicked inside by Castellanos. Headed away by Dyer. Headed to the right by Guendouzi to Marusic. Lifts it in towards Isaacson. Hooked away by Kane. Another throw-in for Lazio. Midway side the Bayern half. Thrown back towards halfway. Across to Romagnoli from Gila. It's now Kamada in the centre circle. All Bayern players behind the ball. Less than 5 minutes of the 90 to play. Isaacson. Try to take on Tel. Finds Guendouzi, whose pass deflects off Musiala. Another throw in for Lazio. They've had plenty of them in this one. In the last minute or so, throwing galore over there on that far side. As they've worked it to the opposite flank. Pedro, he's got the overlap of Pellegrini. Doesn't use him. Pedro still has it. Goes across into the centre-back of Romagnoli. Plays it into number 6, Kamada, who runs across the field and plays it off to Cataldi. Romagnoli to the left wing to Pellegrini. Pedro back to Romagnoli. Bit of possession here for Lazio, something they haven't had in the second half for a little while. And it's with Gila, the centre-back, on the halfway line, pulled down by Tel. Free kick goes to Lazio. I think they moved it on quickly here as they just keep playing the ball around it. Pedro sees a ball out wide to Isaacson and he finds him 3 in the box on the right hand side. Tries to square it towards Guendouzi. Cut out by Goretzka. Ball falls to Musiala, who will stride away with the ball. Davies inside to Tel. Flick into Musiala. It's beautiful to watch. Sane just gets the ball caught under his feet. Tackled by Pellegrini. Lazio clear up towards Kamada, who keeps it away from Pavlovic. And Guendouzi will take over. Bringing the ball forward. Down the Lazio right. Finding Isaacson. He's got a couple of players up there with him. Wants to get onto his left foot. Forced to go back here to Guendouzi, and the counter just fizzles with its momentum. now with Marusic. Loads of time on the ball, but he goes forward quickly to Isaacson, then into the run of Guendouzi towards the byline here, being tracked down by Kane. Guendouzi, right on the corner flag here, taken off him by Kane. He's playing left back here for Bayern. Dribbles beyond Isaacson here, Harry Kane. Goes into the box here to Goretzka, but as Kane released it, he was caught late by Cataldi. And that'll be a yellow card for the current Lazio captain as Harry Kane has stayed down here. No idea why he's back there. I'm not using that against Harry Kane. But it looks like he's been caught there by Cataldi and he stayed down. But I just don't know why he's there in the first place. Just leave the defending for the defenders. Kane doesn't need to be back there, for me, personally. That's how I'd view it anyway. As Cataldi's been booked, and hopefully Kane will find himself back to his feet. But Harry Kane, in 8 Champions League appearances last season, he only scored once against Frankfurt in the group stages. Now he's already got 6 in this season's Champions League. Because this is the stage that Tottenham were knocked out in last year to AC Milan. As Bayern make another change late on. Leroy Sané, whose goal-scoring woes continue. Even though he did have a more of a positive performance tonight. Looked dangerous. His shot was parried for the Kane second goal. And he's been replaced by Konrad Laimer, who has been out with a calf problem from January to February. But he is again a returnee for Bayern Munich, making his 30th appearance of the season. As Dyer clears long for Bayern. They've got less than a minute left of this 90 minutes. Can't find Kane. Headed forward by Romagnoli. Fouls given against the Lazio 13. Looks like they've clashed heads here. Kane and Romagnoli, who both felt the contact. But I think both of them will be okay to continue. And we're going to get another Bayern change. I don't know why they didn't make those 2 changes at once. But it's going to see number 42, Jamal Musiala, who has made the most appearances as a German international for anyone aged 21 or under in the Champions League. This was his 30th tonight, 2 more than Goetze, who had made 28 by the time he turned 22. And he'll be replaced by number 7, Serge Gnabry, who is another massive returnee for Bayern Munich. He's been out since the 9th of December. He's missed the last 13 games with a muscle injury. He's back tonight. And he's going to get a couple of minutes as we've had 4 indicated from tonight's 4th official for added on time. But that's really good for Bayern Munich to see Serge Gnabry back on the pitch and playing. Pavlovic in the right wing position, pulled down there by Cataldi, nothing given. Last touch off Tell. Goal kick for Lazio. And the centre-back Healer will bring it forward. Out to the left to Pellegrini. Touches heavy. Brings down Laimer. That'll be a yellow card as well for the number 3. I mean, at least they've not had a red card tonight, Lazio. They had 3 in their last game in the Serie A, Friday night. 1-0 loss at home to AC Milan. Okafor with an 88th minute winner for AC Milan. But they got 3 red cards. Pellegrini with one of them in the 57th minute. Then 2 in added on time for Adam Marusic and Matteo Guendouzi. But Lazio out of the Champions League. They are in the Cup semi-final against Juventus, so they have still got silverware to play for, but they're 9th in Serie A. So they've got to really change their fortunes in the league. Lazio under head coach Maurizio Sarri. And Lazio before tonight had lost 6 of their last 15 in all competitions, losing 3 at home and 3 away, and they've just not been good enough away from home in Europe this season. They've lost 3 of their 4 games away in the Champions League this season to Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid and now Bayern Munich, with just the 1 win against Celtic, which came in the dying embers of that game. So just not been good enough away, hence why they won't be progressing beyond this last 16, where they'll be knocked out again by Bayern Munich. Kimmich sent away on the right-hand side into the final third. Finds Laimer. Running at Cataldi, lays it off for Tell, who turns away from multiple Lazio players, then plays it back out to Kimmich. Pavlovic goes back into his own half here. 2 delicts, and with 90 seconds left, he does seem like Bayern Munich are going to be heading through to the quarterfinals for the 5th successive season. They have been knocked out, though, of the quarterfinal stages the last 3 seasons. The last time they were knocked out of the last 16 now was 5 years ago to Liverpool. Minute to play. Bayern Munich just knocking it around in their own half. I think both teams know that the result is final, even though the whistle is yet to be blown. With Manuel Neuer, who will collect that 50th clean sheet for Bayern in the Champions League. He's got over 200 for Bayern altogether. And he is now just 1 appearance away from Bayern Munich for levelling the 9th all-time appearance maker for the club. It just seems like it might all be coming back together for Bayern Munich. Lima's back from injury. Davies as well. And Gnabry. So some big players coming back for the German champions who have won the last 11 leagues in a row. But that might change this season, but they're still in the Champions League. As we've played the 4 minutes of added on time, and the referee blows the whistle here at the Allianz Arena. It finishes Bayern 3, Lazio 0, 3-1 on aggregate. And despite losing the first leg, Bayern Munich have turned it around in the second. They have come behind with goals via Harry Kane in the first half and the second half, with Muller scoring right before the break, putting Bayern ahead for the second half, where they've added to that to go 3-0 up on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. And unfortunately, Lazio just did not offer themselves enough going forward. The one major chance they had with Ciro Immobile came 2 minutes before the first goal, and Immobile had a free header that went wide. If that goes in, the whole game's a different story. But he put it wide. 2 minutes later, Bayern Munich scored. Harry Kane heading home from a scuffed Guerrero shot. Providel got a hand to it, couldn't keep it out. Muller also scored a header before half-time. A delict volley, which was just going wide, I believe. Muller stayed onside in the 6-yard box and headed it beyond the goalkeeper of Ivan Providel. Lazio came out in the second half, just could not mount any danger for Bayern Munich, and they added a third with Harry Kane 20 minutes into the second half. A shot from Sane with his left foot after cutting in from the right wing. Spilt by the goalkeeper straight into Kane, who's 6 yards out, left-footed. Easy finish for him into an open goal. And Bayern Munich are into the quarterfinals once again for a 5th season in a row. Unfortunately for Lazio, they will not be reaching their first quarterfinal in this competition for the first time since 2000. That wait will continue, and there's a very good chance they won't even be in the Champions League next season now, because they are 9th in Serie A, which is a huge drop-off because they finished 2nd last season. Seems like the 2 top dogs in Italy last season have dropped off this season. Napoli aren't doing very well, who've won the league. Lazio, who finished behind them in 2nd, are also really struggling in mid-table. But they've got the cup to focus on, Lazio, but their Champions League dream is well and truly over to the hands of, once again, Bayern Munich. The last time they got to the last 16, Lazio, in 2021, they were also knocked out by Bayern, and it's the same story, repeating itself again. Great commentary as always, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. If you were new and you haven't subscribed or liked, please do. Everyone who already has, it is massively appreciated. We've got a really good amount of likes with 13, which is very much appreciated. Next commentary coming on Thursday. Benfica at home to Rangers in their last 16 first leg. We'll be covering both legs over the next 2 weeks, so make sure you check out that. That's going to be a really good tie between Benfica of Portugal and Rangers of Scotland. We've got 2 coming at the weekend as well. Sunday, 1 o'clock UK time. Villa against Spurs in that spot for the final top 4 place in the Premier League. And then we're also covering the Monday night game in the Premier League as Chelsea host Newcastle. A fixture that's already been played. Them two met in the League Cup quarter-final and Chelsea won on penalties. So that'll be an interesting game. Eddie Howe's team on the road this season haven't been very strong. So that should be really 2 really good games to watch. So make sure you check the channel out for them. But that is the end of tonight's live commentary. Hope you did enjoy it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Bayern Munich came into this game trailing. They'd won 1 of their last 5 in all competitions, but tonight they went back to their best. Kane on fire, a brace for the Englishman. Muller also got his name on the score sheet. And in this Champions League last 16, Bayern progress through to the quarters. They win 3-0 on the night, and on aggregate it finishes Bayern Munich 3, Lazio 1.